When you create an estimate and send it to a client of yours, if you have attachments that go along with the estimate, all of the attachments will show up here at the beginning. So whether you have one attachment or multiple attachments, in whatever order that you specify, they will show up here at the beginning of your proposal package, if you want to call it that. And then following that is the cost estimate, as you can see with this icon down here, any contractual language and terms and conditions, and then the signature block, the approval block here, where they can sign and approve the estimate or request any modifications or whatnot. The terms and conditions contractual area is where you would put any contract language that you would want to include in the estimate, and it would always appear after the cost estimate, just like this, in this order. So when you create a new estimate, you choose your terms and conditions and any contractual language down here. And these are the saved terms and conditions that you have. You can have one, you can have none, or you can have multiple. It doesn't matter how many you have. You don't have to include them if you don't want them. It'll be default to having none in there if that's your preference. So the way that you manage the terms and conditions is in your settings under estimate and terms and conditions. And here's where they are located. So these are just simply, you can create a brand new set of contractual language, and you basically copy and paste or type in your contractual language here. Give it a name that's visible to you in the dropdown, and a display name which would be visible out here under terms and conditions and services. This is the actual display name. So if you look back here at our particular list, terms and conditions shows up in the dropdown. Terms and conditions of services is what shows up in the actual proposal that you send to the client. So that's a quick, easy way to save one or multiple terms and conditions. You can delete them. You can make one-offs and make certain modifications for just certain clients if you want. One important thing to note is that if you select a certain terms and conditions that you send to a client, it will actually get snapshotted with each individual estimate that gets saved in Trackfront. So even if you made a change to the terms and conditions later on, once it's sent and viewed by a particular customer, you'll always see the view selected terms right here. Even though they've been changed maybe later on in settings, it takes a snapshot with it, with each and every estimate, and saves it. So that way it's a legal binding document that is unique to each and every estimate here. So there's no way to change these later on after a client views and approves these.